Yo, what up everybody? It's your boy Fitzmonk TV here, aka GLauren33. I want to thank Ichigo for letting me back on his channel here today to talk more MCU with you guys. Last time I was on the channel, we talked about Avengers Endgame and the new Avengers lineup going forward into Phase 4 of the MCU. Today, I'm going to be, clearing up some questions about the biggest or one of the biggest plot holes from Avengers Endgame, and it basically pertains to those who were snapped, who died at the end of Infinity War and came back at Endgame. Alright, so basically we gotta remember here, Avengers Infinity War takes place in 2018 of the MCU timeline. Endgame takes place 5 years later, where the Avengers bring back everyone who died at the end of Infinity War. Alright, so 2008 and 2023, that's a 5-year difference. A lot of people have been saying in the comment section of Ichigo's videos and my videos, they've been saying that, for example, Peter Parker, he died at the end of Infinity War. When he comes back from Endgame, he's 5 years older. He's no longer 16, but he's 21. Which, first of all, that doesn't make sense, because those characters that died in Infinity War actually died. They weren't, inside the Soul Stone. They weren't transferred to another dimension. When they turned to dust, they died. And then Hulk brought them back when he snaps his fingers in Endgame. But when you look at Endgame, alright, and I want to use Spider-Man Far From Home as a perfect example. When you look at what happened is, the world went on in those 5 years. The world didn't stop. Time didn't stop. The world became 5 years older between Infinity War and Endgame. So when you look at, Endgame, one of the examples I want to use is Liz. She was one of the important characters in Spider-Man Homecoming. And we have not seen her in any of the Spider-Man Far From Home material at all. The reason why is my theory, and I believe they'll actually explain this in the movie, is when Thanos snapped his fingers at the end of Infinity War, those characters that survived the snap, they all went on with their lives. They had to move on in a way. They became 5 years older. So someone like Liz, who was in the same grade as Peter Parker, she went on. She graduated high school, most likely. She went to college, and she either graduated or she's about to graduate in terms of the MCU time. That's why she's not in Spider-Man Far From Home at all. Peter Parker and Ned and MJ, the reason why all those characters are still in high school in Spider-Man Far From Home is because they died when Thanos snapped his fingers, and now they have to re-enter society. They have to re-enter a world that's 5 years older, a world that went on. So basically, the MCU timeline still went on, but for all these characters that are coming back into the MCU, the ones that came back at the end of Endgame, they're all gonna have to adjust to a world that's 5 years different. Alright, so and we're going to see that directly in Spider-Man Far From Home. It's also going to be interesting to see how that works in, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Doctor Strange sequel, Black Panther sequel, etc, etc, etc. And it's going to be very interesting to see how these characters fit back into society. It brings in a lot of questions. What will happen to Peter Parker? How will his high school life be different? Also, Black Panther, how does he go back to being the king of Wakanda, even though he was gone for 5 years? Doctor Strange, even though Doctor Strange knew this was going to happen, how will his life change now that, the events of Infinity War and Endgame already happened? Same thing goes for the Guardians, same thing goes for all those other Avengers, all those other characters that died in Infinity War and came back at Endgame. And it's going to be very interesting to see how the MC does it. Another thing, what about the Sokovia Accords? We saw Ross at Tony Stark's funeral in Endgame, but, even though, the Sokovia Accords kind of died when, Thanos snapped his fingers, because there was really no point in keeping them when half of existence was gone, will those Sokovia Accords be re-implemented in Phase 4 of the MCU? What's going to happen there? A lot of new questions are going to be raised, but I wanted to make this short video to hopefully clear up any questions people had about, the whole, if a character died in Infinity War, when they come back in Endgame, are they 5 years older? Alright, so the question to that is no. if you died in Infinity War, you're the same age when you come back in Endgame. You're just re-entering society. You're re-entering a world that's 5 years older, and it's going to be very interesting to see how Kevin Feige and the rest of the people at Marvel Studios, deal with this going forward with their stories. But I can't wait. Hopefully I cleared up your questions in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to Ichigo's channel if you guys are new. Also subscribe to my channel, Fitzmonk TV. The information should be in the description down below. I hope to see you guys soon. Have a great day, guys. Peace.